We just had a long discussion about harnessing the energy of the biotech industry and the degree to which that energy can get coordinated with the White House. Are you seeing real parallels to how we tackled Ebola in this episode?
Well, we are, both for good and bad. So, in fact, some of the very specific drugs that your last guest was discussing were drugs that were also tried and had some success in dealing with Ebola patients. So there are definitely echoes of that. But I'd say one of the other echoes that we just need to keep in mind is even if all these things really succeed wildly in these trials, and there's no guarantee that they will, it's going to be probably months before even the first of them is really approved for widespread use. And so I think it's really important for everyone listening to understand that for the foreseeable future, these social mitigation measures, staying in your home, washing your hands, all these things that we're hearing about, that really is our tool for the next few, at least the next few 6 to 8 weeks, maybe even longer than that. So I am hopeful about some of these biologics being solutions, but no one should let down their guard right now. No one should think we have an answer right now. We have some promising things, but they aren't proven yet, and it's going to take a while before they are.
So when the White House frames it as 15 days to stem the spread, and now you have Fauci this morning on the Today Show talking about several weeks, obviously your comments just now, it's not going to be 15 days.
It's not going to be 15 days. And look, I kind of understand trying to get people in this mindset by giving them one bite at a time here. But I think it's also really important for all of our public health communicators and for the people at the White House to quickly pivot to a more realistic message about how long this is going to be. And I worry, Carl, that the virus is more patient than people are. That what you see in other countries is as soon as you start to let down these measures, the virus comes back. This isn't something we can kind of do halfway or we get it half right, it's fine, or something like that. And so I think we have to balance as we communicate about this, not overly making people glum and telling them they're all locked in their houses for 6 months or something like that. But I think we need to start to get more realistic about the fact that I don't think anything in this country is going to change for several more weeks in terms of our need to be kind of working remote if possible, out of public places, all these things we're starting to live with. I think this is the status quo for the foreseeable future. And again, I think eventually we will have treatments, but even treatments, even the kind of treatments, favipiravir, remdesivir, all these drugs that are starting to show some promise, those are treatments, not vaccines. That means they're going to help people who get sick. Our goal is to not have people get sick. And so these public health practices, that's our first and really only line of defense for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, Ron, it's a key point that you make as well. We're seeing it play out in real time with China as that country gets back online now. The risk is people coming into that country who are bringing the virus back with them as well. I'm curious, though, if in the past week it's been so dramatic here in the U.S. American life has just shifted on its axis and changed what practically feels like overnight. It's like the switch flipped. So how quickly can such drastic action where social circumstances, social changes, social distancing are concerned, actually change and shift that trajectory for the curve and to be able to flatten it here in the U.S.?
So that's a really great point and something I'm also quite concerned about because this operates with a time lag. So the people who show up at a hospital tomorrow are people who got this virus probably about 14 days ago. So everyone needs to stop and think about, where was I 14 days ago? And probably 14 days ago, you were at work, you were at the stores, you were out. And so there's going to be this disconnect where everyone thinks, I'm doing all these things to fight the virus, but it keeps getting worse. The numbers you just said in the coronavirus update, it's just virtually doubling every 36 hours or so. And that's the things we're doing today, the things we started doing a couple days ago, that's not going to move those numbers at all, really for the next 2 weeks. Because those people got sick before we started to do this stuff. And so I think, again, we're just going to have to be patient in a way that Americans rarely are as a country for what we're doing. And we are doing the right things now in terms of all these social control measures for what we're doing to really start to bend the curve. It's going to take a while.